Good morning. It's time for our Monday meditation. And what I wanted to really focus some attention, exploration on is on this topic because it happens to the best of us, right? It even happened to me this morning. A friend sent me an email from someone else who's in my industry, and I hopped in to take a look, and I found myself feeling less than heartwarmed by their message. I actually went into this whole, hi Yvette, welcome. Oh my gosh, girl. Like you and I were just talking about this. So anyway, so like I was saying, I started reading this email, and it was like, on the one hand, of course, I'm like super happy for this woman who's like doing great things and deservedly so. And like, and there was this little like of why don't I have that yet? And if only I had, if only, if only, if only. Oh God. Okay, so that is going to be our that's where we're going to get started. So just take a moment, get into a comfortable position. Let's breathe together, just naturally. Inhale, just witness the breath coming in, going out. Right. Oh, Yvette, perfect. Exactly. Like you're so happy because your higher self is like, of course. That's so wonderful. The other thing is too, continue to breathe, is that when we see someone who's super successful in our industry, let's just use that as an example. Let's pull that, like, I want to start with the feeling, right? Because that's your clue. There's someone you're like, I just have to get them out of my feed, or I don't even want to know what this person did. Just take that moment to just feel that feeling, like, because it's a clue. It is a message from your desire. Okay. So what is it? And I'm just going to do my own process around this, like email / copy that I received this morning. And you can do the same thing. So let's say it's someone posted something, or they're showing themselves, frolicking on the beach in Puerto Rico or something, which was like me just a couple years back, like posting videos while I was frolicking on the beach in Puerto Rico. So like, sometimes we're on the other side of that camera, right? Take a moment and just feel that wrinkle, feel that grrr. Let it well up. Don't be afraid of it, right? So much of the time we suppress rather than receive the message from the feeling. So let the feeling come, right? Don't judge the feeling, right? Don't shame the feeling, right? This is the shameless movement, people. So just feel it. Be like, yeah, I feel angry. I feel angry that this person is where they are and I'm where I am. And breathe through it. Let's take a couple cleansing breaths, right? Feel free to vocalize with me, because here I am sounding all goofy all by myself in my living room. Feel free to do this with me and you won't be alone. Right now, just my cats. Right? Have you ever done that yoga posture where you inhale and you let your tongue come out? Do that with me, right? Feel that and then let it go. Feels better already, doesn't it? I feel better already. Feel free, if it's still roiling, feel free to pause right here and do a couple more, right? And then come back in. Do that cleansing for as long as it takes to just like let the feelings come up and then also release them. Not because they're bad, okay? Not because they're bad, but because they're a message, right? And so the message isn't just to like, no, I don't want to hear the message. Like, what does this feeling want to tell me? And you'll know because as I'm releasing it, I'm starting to feel this like whoosh of energy like in my body, right? It's just energy. When we have fear, when we have anger, even when we have sadness, it is just energy that is coming up, delivering a message and saying like, what do you want to do with this energy, right? In a way, anger is really amazing in that it's like this fire, right? And it can be put to use, right? So breathe with me and just like hear this message, right? Just a few minutes ago, actually just minutes before I got on this to join you, I interviewed a gentleman who channeled his grief, right? He lost his sister under tragic, sudden circumstances 9 years ago. And he started a foundation in her memory. She left 3 young kids behind. And so he started a foundation to help kids move through grief. And it helped him process his grief, right? So the feelings are not a bad thing. They can sometimes bring the energy and the fuel that we need to really become very clear on our desire, right? So let's go back to that feeling of, so whatever was like making you envious, a little irritated, a little like, enjoy that part of yourself, right? It is a valid, wonderful part of yourself. And now I'm just going to ask, picture that feeling. You've released her, you've brought her to the surface, or him, or it, right? What color? What does it look like? For me, it's a pink with like scribbles. And I'm just going to ask it, hey, you, envy, what is it? What is it about this person, this message? What's stirring the pot for you? And give it a moment to respond. And whatever your first impulse is, trust it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Oh, wow. Okay, so I will share with you what my insight was. So I just took a moment to ask this anger that came up. Reading someone who's doing something amazing with women's empowerment and feminine power, like, hello, sisterhood, like, rock on. Of course I support that. And I totally felt a twinge of jealousy because she's further down the path in my estimation, right? There's another side to that we'll touch on in just a second, but when I just let the emotion come up and out and freed her to speak to me, and here she is kind of like almost like a ball of yarn, pink and black, like energy, right? And when I asked her, what is it? Do you know what I got? Was, so part of this person's journey is they went and they got their advanced degree in whatever. It wasn't even in women's studies. It was in transformational coaching. So that was supposed to be my path, right? I was on track to go to UC Berkeley, get my master's and then my PhD, and like climb firmly up into the ivory tower. And right from that perspective, as a professor of women and gender studies, most likely layered in with other like cultural studies. So part of me, that young woman, who made the decision to, instead of going on to that graduate school program, my life took another route. I ended up meeting someone. I got married. I had 2 amazing kids. I took a path that I would not have taken had I gone down the academic route. My bachelor's was already in, bachelor's with honors with women and gender studies. But there was a little part of me that was still sad that I had given up that dream, and I was a little jealous. So, what does your feeling want to say to you? Was there anything in my story that triggered your story? What does your feeling want to tell you? This is a great practice, whether it is envy or sadness or whatever, is to not fight the emotion, right? But to rather let her come up to the surface and simply ask her what she wants to tell you. I already feel like so much relief and release from that. So very often, our feelings simply want to be acknowledged, like the little girl, like the young woman who made those decisions a long time ago. The other side, too, and I've talked about this with Yvette, who's on the live with us before, is that we don't always have the full picture, right? Here's the other side is, we can be looking at a picture of someone, showing their Instagram, their Pinterest best, and we don't know what is actually happening. And so what we might perceive as like, oh, they've got it so good. They don't even know. They don't even know how much I've suffered. I don't know if that's ever comes up for you, but it definitely does for me. And what is really true is that we are all human and we are all having this experience and we all have peaks and valleys, and sometimes they're happening at the same time. So sometimes that person that you are envying right now, who is having an amazing experience, could also be facing one of their biggest challenges. And for anyone who has been in that space of great success or great visibility knows that there is always another edge to it. There's always that fear. There's always maybe some stuff that comes up. So here's part 2, right? Part 1 is acknowledging that feeling, letting it come up, releasing it, speaking it through. And at any time in here, you can always pause, journal, or, I fully encourage you at the end of these meditations, if something has come up for you, just take a moment and land it in the body, land it by writing it out. So the next piece is just beaming some love at that person, knowing that they're human and full and that they bring a piece of the medicine that we can learn from, just as we bring a different piece of the medicine. So just beaming out. I'm doing a little infinity loop like this, beaming out love, and also calling back any of my own energy that I kind of like shot out with that envy, right? Beaming out love, recalling any little chords, beaming out love, calling in chords. Yeah, that's your part 2. Part 3, and this is the juicy part, is what is the desire underneath the feeling, underneath the envy? Just think, what is it? What is it that was, scratching those nails on the chalkboard for you. Ah, right. What is the desire underneath the feeling? For me, that desire is to impact thousands of women as this woman has. That is also my desire. My desire is to do that very same thing. So, what is your desire? What was your feeling? What is the desire underneath it? Thank you for joining me this morning. And I invite you to journal. And if you feel called or comfortable, feel free to let me know in the comments below. As I was so vulnerable and shared with you my little envy journey, I invite you to share yours with me. From my heart to yours, I love you. Take what you need and pass it on. Have a great week.